Well, hey there, everybody. You are seeing this video if you're part of the Landforms and Landscape Dynamics class, a J-term class in 2024. I'm the instructor for that class, Ruben Heine, and we'll meet in person on Wednesday. But for today with this snowstorm, I thought it'd be easier if we did a remote learning day, and so I've put the assignments up for the first day of this class on the Moodle page. So visit the Moodle page, scroll down, and you will find the entry for our day today, Tuesday, the 9th. And what you'll be working through are 4 different items that are on here. The first one is simply to check your email for the Esri, an email that came from Esri.com, and that's to establish your GIS account. And so watch for that. Make sure that you follow the instructions, and note the username and password. They are different than your regular Augie ones, and jot that down. You'll need it for the rest of the term. All right, besides that, once you have that established, then the next thing you're going to do is go to follow this link here. You'll have to log in using that username and password. And one of the assignments of this class is a learning journal assignment, which you will have. It'll be kind of the place you'll record what you're learning as part of this class. And so there'll be daily entries. If you haven't used story maps before, it's fairly straightforward, easy learning curve, but it makes a really beautiful web page that is easy to edit. So by the end of the term, each one of you we'll have a web page that's full of pictures and descriptions of what we did in this class and what you learned. And so it'll take some work, but this will be one of the major assignments of the class. And when you come out of it, you'll be able to cite this later, or use it if you want to remember back to what you learned in the class, or maybe share it with a future employer, or whatever you want to do. Okay, so as this first instructions, I have a template that's in this ARC Online for a part of our group. What each one of you is going to do is click on my template and then rename that file to reflect your name. And the first items that you're going to put into that learning journal will be part 3 and part 4 of this. Part 3 will be, there's 3 reading assignments. These are relatively short. And in the learning journal, you're just going to have bulleted bulleted text summary of what you learned from reading those 3 sections. In addition, this is a fun assignment, is to use a feature called a sidecar, or you can use a slideshow. That's an embedded element right in your learning journal that features several 8 to 10 photographs of landforms. And this could come from anywhere in the world. It could come from literally your backyard to something far more remote, like Taman Negara National Park in Malaysia, say, for example, or Victoria Falls, or certainly any of the landforms at national parks in the United States, like Glacier National Park. If you are uncertain, it's always easy to do a Google search for famous landforms and then kind of pick your geography and see what lists come up, see what photographs come up. Or even better yet, if you have your own personal photo collection or library and you've gone to some place that has an interesting landform, insert a picture from your own collection. And so it could be 8 to 10 total, 1 or 2 of them from your own collection, and the rest from web sources. But just make sure you cite your sources. All right, so that's the introduction to this day. These are the assignments that you'll complete. By the way, once you have established your learning journal, make sure and follow this assignment link. That's also the same link as right down here. And this is what we'll use for attendance today. And you'll paste the web address, your URL for the learning journal, into the text box that's part of that assignment. All right, so let's see how this part goes here. So for number 2, you're just going to follow this link. It'll take you to this group page. And as students are finishing this assignment, there'll get to be a long list of learning journals. There'll be a total of 23 of them by the end of the day. And so just make sure and look for the one that's mine. That's going to be the template. And what you're going to do then is click on the three dots and then go to the edit. What you're going to do next then is click on the three dots here and then say duplicate the story. Say yes. This takes just a few seconds. You're going to replace my name here, and so let's just say my name was Steve Smith. And then make sure you change the name here as well. And then you'll see the name changes here. And then go ahead and hit the publish button. Now when you hit the publish button, it's going to ask you a few questions. One, start off by saying that this is viewable by the organization. And then when it comes to this section here, make sure that you choose Geography 106, JTerm 2324, R folder. And then you could leave the allow duplication unchecked. If you want to change the cover picture, that can be done here. I highly recommend you just pick a photo that you would like to use. So do edit and change that photo. You can change that to any photo you'd like. And then when you're ready, then hit publish. Okay, so after it's saved, it now has this version locked in. Okay, so once that has been published, it will then it'll be the new name will be on there. Be sure when you go into the edit mode here that when you go to publish, that you're changing the organization. You also want to see that the group is on here. Make sure that you do a search for Geography 106 JTerm 2324. Make sure you switch this to an organization. Go to edit over here and change the name to your name here as well. Hit save there, hit publish here, and it will now update this story to be the one you're going to use from this point forward. So be sure at this point now to copy the URL, then go to the assignment here. I'm going to switch this over to student role real quick. So be sure to go down to the assignment here, add a submission, and all you have to do is paste this in and save changes. That will be something that I'll be able to follow later, and this assignment is one that I'll use for recording attendance and your participation for class today. So make sure you submit that by the end of the day. I have that at 12:15 or 11:59 p.m. Okay, so the other aspects of today's assignment then are to do the readings, and so those are down here at the bottom. And so for each one of those readings, just you could just copy and paste the title of that. When it comes down here, what you're going to do is go down to day 1, and we need to go into edit mode if you're not already there. So edit story. And then, for example, you will click on here and then click on a new text item. This could be readings for day 1. And then the first reading, Science is Way of Knowing. And then you could do your bulleted text for that section. Now, if you click on this, you can change the size of the font. You can also change if it's going to be a heading. Just keep it as paragraph format though. And then start to write your summary. So this could be, again, in bulleted format. Okay, so just looking at this, there's no way to do bulleted text as far as I can find. So maybe what we ought to do rather is just at the end of this write a paragraph summary once you've read through the and watch the videos as part of this. It's relatively short. It would be the equivalent of about 4, 5, 6 pages of text, and so summarize the main points of that. The other assignment then, besides the reading, when we take a look at this, is number 4, is this landscape photography assignment. And for that, you're going to add something called a sidecar or a slideshow. And so I'll go back here, and with the green plus for under day 1, you would then add a slideshow or a sidecar. I'm just going to do a slideshow for the first. And if you have found on the internet a photograph of a landform, or maybe you want to use your own picture for this, this is organized by a number of slides. You'd have 8 to 10 total down here. And so you would start off by making a comment on here about, this would be the landform photo assignment. And then you can add a video or an image, and you would then simply drag and drop that that image here. Okay, so I just pulled an image for the Mississippi River. This happens to be from Britannica Online, and this is at the confluence where the Mississippi and the Ohio rivers meet. And from the assignment description, what I'm looking for here is not only the photograph itself, but also a few details that I'd like you to put in the caption. And so, for example, if the landform, what location is it, the best you can tell? Does the landform have a name? And then take a guess at what processes might have shaped or sculpted or created this landform, so volcano or glaciers or running water. And then again, you could pull those photos from your own library too, as well as from the web. So if you're going to pull it from the web, what I would recommend you do is you just right-click on an image that you find on the web, do Save Image As, maybe put it into your class if you have a class folder you want to draw from, or maybe right onto the desktop. Let's see, this is not going to be a good format. This is WebP format, not a JPEG format. If that's the case and you're running into this, of course you can click on the actual web page itself. Let's see if this does any better. The image that I wanted was the Confluence image. Let's see if it's that's going to be an HTML, so we don't want that. One way that I find works fairly well for this is if you just simply go to the snipping tool, and then using the snipping tool, you can then save a copy of it yourself. So let me just pull that up here. And I would avoid, try to avoid having some of these extra parts around there. I see with my web recording, it's not going to let me do the snipping tool quite right. So I'm just going to do that on my second screen over here. Okay, so I have that photograph now in the snipping tool. I can hit the Save button and then save that, say, to my desktop. Save Mississippi River. Okay, I can minimize that. Then back to my story map. And I can drag and drop it from the desktop, or I can browse to it. There it is. And this would actually be the place where I will put in the caption information. So this is the I would say something like the landform is a river channel and a sandbar. This was created by running water. So again, this doesn't have to be, this is a day one assignment. We'll get better and better at understanding what kind of processes create these landforms. But once you finish your first one like that, then click on the plus symbol. It gives you a chance to add another photograph. Say if you had, Victoria Falls, you could put a photograph of that and put in your caption there. So in the end, you will have a paragraph summary of each of those 3 readings, and then a sidecar for your 8 to 10 landforms. Oh, and the last thing to do is to make sure that you give credit where credit is due. So just put in a photo credit here, and I just put in a copied and pasted the URL for that. Okay, so when you're ready to do your second one, say for example I picked maybe the Kenai Fjords from Kenai Fjords National Park, which of course is in south central coastal Alaska. There's really a beautiful spot there. I'm just going to do another screen capture here. So in this case I'll add an image. Browse to files. I have saved this one of Kenai National Park, a little landform site there. And then I would want to put in some information about it. So in this case, this is maybe something like rock towers in the Kenai Fjords National Park. This probably was shaped by wave action and glaciers. Again, don't worry if you're feeling like you are uncertain about those processes, just take a guess. Okay, so I had switched out the background photo for this one, but I just put, for this particular photo, I just put glacier is visible in this photo, and mountains in the Kenai Fjords National Park shaped by glacial ice and wave action. I should put and. Okay, so once you have this done, I have just 2 in here now for 2 different parts. You can then make sure and go to publish. Again, make sure all of those are set the way you want. In the meantime, make sure that you change that photograph to be one of interest. And then after you publish, it's going to go into presentation mode. There's edit mode and there's presentation mode. So this is how it would look if you were to send this to a potential employer, or I'll look at it this way, or if you want to show it with family members. But as you go down, you will see then that there would be your reading assignments. But then the cool thing about the sidecar is that the caption is on the image itself, and then you can click on this little back arrows, and then you can go through the 8 to 10 photographs as a slideshow that's embedded right into your story map. And cool thing about this is if you look at it on a phone, it'll look good. If you look at it on a computer screen, it looks good. If you look at an iPad, it keeps adjusting to look appropriate depending on what device you're using to view the story map. So that's the idea. That's what you will do for the assignment for January 9th on Tuesday, is to have those readiness summaries, and then also a 8 to 10 slide sidecar or slideshow. All right. Certainly reach out to me if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see everyone in person on Wednesday.